Alright guys, this is part 2 of the Twilight Forest playthrough. First things first, I'm an idiot, and I forgot to mute my mic, because I thought it would be a lot better if I mute my mic while I was playing, since I was going to be voiceovering anyways, so that there wasn't any background noise and you could just hear the game and then the voiceover I'm doing right now, future me, I guess present me, and the person playing is past me. But whatever, nobody asked that. In this episode, I'm going to be finding the Minoshroom and then beating him. And then, because of the storyline, I had to beat him first, and then I get to fight the Hydra so I can progress with the story. The Minoshroom, like the Minotaur, is in a maze, and he's so difficult to find. He's not super difficult to find if you have the maze map, but I wanted to play legit and didn't want to just craft something that would immediately tell me where he was. He's located at the very bottom of the maze, somewhere. Just, you don't really know. So I spent a long time trying to find him. The uncut version of this is 25 minutes long. I'm going to try cutting this down so you're not like looking at like 20 minutes of me just wandering and then 5 minutes, or not even 5 minutes, probably like 2 minutes of me fighting it, and then 3 minutes of me like taking the loot. So I'm gonna speed a lot of this up, and then when it gets to the actual fight or like something interesting happens, I'll slow it back down so then you can see, and I'll talk about what happens. Anyways, I actually did this in the wrong order. I actually fought the Yetis first in the snow biome because for whatever reason, the progression, you fight the Naga, then you fight the Lich, and then after you fight the Lich, it actually splits off into three different paths you can take. You can fight the Yeti and then the Snow Queen, or you can fight the Minoshroom and then fight the Hydra, or the Knight and then the Yurgast. I actually fought the Yeti before I fought the Minoshroom, but then when I saw that the paths were like that, I was like, that doesn't make sense. So I'm going to be posting me fighting the Minoshroom and then the Hydra first, and then the Yeti and the Snow Queen, and then the last one. Because the last one was actually kind of dumb, and I have to YouTube how to do it because for whatever reason they're all invincible. Like even the minions in there are invincible to all damage until you do something very specific, which I didn't want to go look up. So I'm doing these other ones first. And these random things in this maze, it has a lot of loot. A surprisingly amount. Like a lot of loot. I actually had to go back and forth twice so that I could bring all the loot with me. And I eventually wander around and find the room finally. So after running around for like 20 whole minutes, I finally find where the Minoshroom is. And he's stuck in a cage. So I'm so happy because that means this is gonna be the easiest boss fight. He's not gonna be able to touch me. I can smack him for free. And then
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
I don't think you guys understand how actually scared I was. I was not expecting him to break that fence. I didn't know he could break blocks because I couldn't break any blocks in the maze, but apparently he can. Well, yeah, I could break the fence. I definitely wasn't expecting him to, but I actually cut it out. But I think he breaks the maze itself, like blocks in the maze. Not a lot, but a couple. So I end up getting so scared that you can hear me gasp, and then I think I was scratching my leg or something that I had to put my hand back onto the keyboard so fast that you can hear my arm slam onto the table. And if you want to hear it, you could probably scroll back and you definitely hear it because it's pretty loud. So what ends up happening is I block myself off in the corner, and I actually go loot up that corner of the maze before I get the courage to go back to face that thing. And eventually I do, but he is actually the only boss that doesn't have a health bar. So I don't know how much health he actually has or like how much damage I'm actually doing to him. So I come back and like hit him a couple of times, and I actually run back to the room that he was initially in to take all the loot. And then after I take all the loot in the room he spawns in, I went back to go finish him. When I finish him, I had to leave some stuff, and then eventually later on, I come back and grab the rest of the stuff that looked like it was cool to have, I guess. And he drops his meat and his axe, and then his trophy. Obviously, all the bosses drop trophies. And then that was it for the Minotaur. The boss fight wasn't that hard. It was a little scary because I just didn't really know anything about it. I didn't know how much damage I did. I didn't know how much health it had, stuff like that. And embarrassingly enough, I actually had a pretty hard time finding my way out, even though I was following the torches. I went into so many directions that I kind of got lost on the way out, but I ended up finding my way out. It actually took about the same amount of time getting to the boss room as it was to get out of it, like get out of the entire maze. But that's it for the Minotaur, and now on to the Hydra. So I end up going back to my base or the little camp I set up next to my portal to put away some stuff and then head back. I actually go past the Minotaur maze thing because the Minotaur and the Hydra are actually a part of the same story branch, so they're next to each other. But something interesting happens. I get set on fire and there are particles everywhere in that area, which means that I did something in the previous part of the story incorrectly, or I haven't done something yet to get to that new area, which didn't make sense because the thing before the Hydra was the Minoshroom, and I already beat it and got the stuff, and I placed the trophy down. I didn't really know what to do because I just assumed that all the bosses, the requirement to the next stage was just to place the trophy down after you beat it. Well, I guess it wasn't this. So I went back and I tried a lot of different things, like swing the axe at different things and like trying to kill different things. Maybe I had to do something in a maze. I don't know. I didn't really know what to do. And then randomly, I decided to eat the the soup that the Minoshroom dropped, and I got the achievement that says Mighty Stroganoff. And it says under that, the meat and mushroom stew pleasantly warms you enough so that you feel like you're acclimatized enough to venture into the fire swamp. What? Now, how was I supposed to know I was supposed to eat that? And two, how does that make sense anyways? Why would I have to eat your minion's body, basically, his flesh, so that I could go into the area? Okay, you know what? That doesn't even matter. But when I saw that and read it, I was looking like Dragon Knight off the Pokemon TV show. I'll put a picture on the screen to show what I'm talking about. But I was so dumb. I was looking at my screen and I was like, that doesn't make sense. But whatever. So after we figure all that out, I finally make it back, and I'm running towards where it shows the Hydra is. I just hold my map out the whole time because even though I'm in the correct biome in the area, I know I want to make sure that I'm actually heading in the direction of the Hydra itself. And eventually, I get there and I see him. He's much bigger than what I imagined. He's huge, and it honestly kind of scared me at first, but it was whatever. It's just another boss fight. I tried shooting him with my bow, but if only it was that easy. He doesn't take bow damage. So, that just means one thing. I can only use my sword. But, I actually read up a little about him before this boss fight because I didn't want to spend like half an hour on this fight like the Minoshroom, and I didn't want to die a million times because he's probably really strong. He's one of the later bosses. And I found out he has a couple different attacks. He has a flamethrower attack that shoots flames, like, you know, they don't really do anything except if you walk into it or if it hits you, it burns you. He has a explosive attack that it's kind of like the bomb bombs from Mario that he like kind of shoots out, and then they kind of just sit there for a little bit. They can glide across the floor and then they blow up. You can also hit those back at him like if he's a gas, which actually do quite a amount of damage. And then he has a biting attack. Now this biting attack is very different because if he hits you with this biting attack, you get into range, he hits you, it doesn't matter what armor you're wearing, doesn't matter how much health you have, you're dead. If he bites you, it's over. So, it's kind of difficult since he can't get hit by ranged attacks, and if I get close enough to fight him with my sword, he'll be close enough to just one-hit KO me with his biting attack. But, I ended up finding out that it's very effective to just hit the fireballs back at him, which I basically just do for most of the fight. There were a couple of times where I got impatient and ran up, hit him a couple times, and then ran because I didn't want to die. Surprisingly, I didn't die during this fight. Great. I'm pretty sure a piece of my armor breaks. I think my helmet breaks. But yeah, this was a pretty fun fight. It was really interesting. And I actually destroyed one of his heads, but then it grows back, and to my surprise, a second one grew back with it. So, I wanted to do a little challenge. Before I kill this Hydra, go into the comments and guess how many heads he'll have by the end of this fight. And then if you get it right, you don't win anything. We'll just say it's for bragging rights. So, have fun, enjoy the rest of the video. And at the end, the correct answer was 7 heads. If you guessed correctly, great job. If you didn't, well, better luck next time. As you can see earlier, I said that my helmet broke, and I was trying to actually put the trophy into my inventory, but it actually goes onto my head, which was surprisingly funny. And when I F5 later, it actually isn't centered on my head, it's actually like slightly out of it. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!